Welcome in tonight to the Cavalier Connection. I'm Jeff, joined by Jay and special uh, host with us tonight, TW from the Locker Room Access. TW, how you doing tonight?
Good, man. Appreciate you guys for having me. I'm excited. Been following your show. Love the Curtis Staples episode. I love what you guys are doing. As a fellow podcaster myself,
Oh
I
yeah,
really appreciate it and know the work that goes into it. So I want to thank you guys first for doing this and obviously for having me.
oh yeah. Well,
Oh,
thanks for
we're
coming
excited
on.
to have you. Thank you.
Um, Real quick, I just since you mentioned him, Curtis Staples. Do you think Curtis? Do you think Virginia's hired a GM already, or do you
I
think
don't know.
Curtis has a?
I'm assuming Coach Odom's going to figure it out and he probably has somebody in mind. I would assume.
Right.
It'd be nice if he pulled somebody from the Virginia sort of alumni base, but we'll see. I don't know what his plans are. He seems
Yeah.
it wasn't super clear on what exactly was happening in that press conference. So I'm sure we'll talk about that. But yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
you
Yeah.
think in the pros it's like GM and then coach, but at college, it's like the opposite. You get the coach, and then it's got to be somebody they can work with. Hopefully him and Jeff and I obviously we're rooting for Staples. I'm not sure where you fall on that, but man, I'd love to see Curtis get it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Curtis Staples is a legend for us. You guys grew up in the '90s. I mean, he's an icon. And how many
Oh
times you
yeah.
get some crazy threes? I mean, I think just the fond memories of that alone is great. I have no idea, truthfully, what they're looking
Yeah.
for in a GM role or how that. I know he's well connected. I know he's a great coach, and he's probably has a great eye for talent. So maybe there's something there. But again, I kind of leave that to the boss man.
That's right. Yeah. Hey,
You got
Josh.
some
Josh
fans
is a
tuning
yeah.
in, TW.
Yeah, what's up, Josh? Appreciate you.
We knew once we got you on, our numbers are going to skyrocket.
Yeah, right. It's a slow night, so I appreciate you guys for having me.
And before we get all into the basketball stuff, can you talk to us maybe about some of your background as a Virginia sports fan? And I know you were telling me before about some out at your high school, maybe shooting ball with some of the players.
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up and you're born and raised in Charlottesville. So my parents came here as professors at UVA. My dad was actually the first Asian professor at UVA, which is really cool. Um,
Oh,
yeah, there he is, Dougie Fresh. That's my
There's,
guy. I love that guy.
oh yeah,
So yeah, like we were basically bleed orange and blue. My parents, this came here and fell in love with the basketball program. And when Ralph Sampson, obviously, was the guy on campus, our family was all in. Like how we sort of managed our lives were around the basketball schedule during that time. And my parents used to say, if we don't win, you're grounded, you're getting spanked, like it's going to be a problem. So it was like my brother and I used to watch these games literally like our lives were on the line because they were for us. Like, I don't want to be grounded, I don't want to be spanked. So we watched the games with this level of intensity. Um, that was unnormal. Like, it was just not natural for a 5, 6, 7 year old to be cheering like that. But for us, it was our livelihood, and like we carried that on throughout. I mean, they never really did anything to us, but like the feeling of that never went away. So like when we were in high school and we were watching these games with the intensity, like people are like, why do you care so much? I'm like, actually, at this point, I don't even know why. I just like it's just ingrained in our family history at this point. So I kind of watched it with that level all the way through and went to UVA. Graduated in '99 and I just followed the program like crazy. And yeah, you said it. Dougie Fresh, Chris Havlicek, Sean Wilson came to my middle school and shot ball with us just a random day. I was at Burley Middle School, and they came and just shot with us. And like we remembered that day, like it was yesterday. We always talk about, and we'd go to games, and we would cheer for them because we felt like they were our friends. Like they shot with us. So fast forward, now they're on the podcast. I talk to them every day. They're like family friends. It's a small world,
that's cool.
how the stuff works out. And obviously they know how much I love UVA and cared about them and know their history. So it's really cool to kind of catch up with them later in life.
Yeah, that's cool. That's Jay and I, and ours was just shooting ball at University Hall and getting kicked out before every football game. You go to the
Right.
bathroom, you go into U-Haul, we bring our own basketball, and we get about 3 shots up, and then here they come down.
The way I remember it, my shooting percentage was 100% in U-Haul.
You were Grant Kersey before Grant Kersey.
That's right.
Yeah, no. So I mean, in terms of my history with this last coaching staff, I can tell this real quick. Like the first year TB was hired, they came out to a road trip to Seattle, and they played Seattle and they played Oregon on this road trip. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go travel and see the guys play. They're on the West Coast. You know, I came out here in '99. There was not many opportunities to see UVA. So I'm like, all right, I jumped on a flight. When Common, there was an alumni event in Seattle that I went to. I was like, oh, cool. It's like a meet the coaches and players event. And of course, we were terrible then, if you don't remember. So like 4 people showed up, and I was one of those people. So like, you know, I got to meet TB and Ronnie and Jay Will, really got to know them. And we sat there, the event was over, and we literally chatted for like 2-3 hours.
Oh, wow.
My brother and I were sitting there and just got to know them as people. Didn't even really talk much hoops, talk about Charlottesville growing up and Brian Stith and all that. And then the next day when we were playing in Seattle, you know, the guys were warming up, shooting. The coaching staff sees my brother and I in the stands. We're not like courtside. We're way up there. They walk up into the stands, shake our hands, exchange numbers. Like, we really enjoyed talking to you.
Wow.
Come back after the post game, and we'll introduce you. You know, we'll hang out again. And we did that. Talked to them. We're like, that's incredible. We met the coaching staff. It was all cool. And it was like, we got home. They texted us. You know, just kept up with us like we were family. And the next time we came into town with my wife, you know, it was like, they brought us back to the locker room. We met everybody. It was like they literally wrapped their arms around us because they knew our story, and that meant a lot. And like, you know, we exchanged Christmas cards, like all of that. We're like, I mean, they're my family at this point. It's not even about UVA; it's about the people. So that's kind of how I got in with that coaching staff. So that was 15 years of, you know, friendship. So it's a little tough for me, like as you can imagine, seeing your friends leave the program. So it's hard for me to be obviously super biased here, but you know, I'm through and through UVA, so it's a really interesting time for me personally as we're going through this change.
Yeah, I'm
the
sure
episode
it is.
where Jeff went on with you and I couldn't make it. I apologize. I was already off, you know, Coach Sanchez. I was kind of on, and then I listened to the podcast after that Virginia Tech game, I think it was.
Right.
And I was like, you know, TW makes a lot of good points.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think I kind of landed back on, you know, kind of a program reset at the end. But
just fair.
We talked about you a lot on the pod. You know, just you made a lot of good points of do you really want to give up 15 years of, you know, solid and you know what you're getting for the unknown, because the unknown isn't always better.
Right. No, I mean, you look back at the history, like the batting averages aren't great, you know, trying to hire out from outside regardless. But my thought, truly, even not knowing that, putting that aside, for what TB had done for the program and the infrastructure he built, I thought they should at least see it through. Like, if TB had decided, thought the best for the program was Sanchi and whatever, Jay Willie, whoever, like, to give that a true like thorough, you know, take on it, and we didn't get that. So you know, if you're gonna ask me what to do, it's like, trust TB, who knows UVA, knows the program, knows everything, knows his people, said he picked these people to lose with first. He picked them, and then we're gonna go with, no offense to Carla, but she also hired Tina Thompson. She's got, you know, like Tony, like, we don't know what we're getting. Not to say that these are bad things. It's just like, she doesn't know it like he does. Right. So that was my thing. Like, to me, it felt like I'd rather trust TB and what he's built, regardless of that, to go with that. But I'm fine. I get it. You got to win now. NIL changed everything. You want a whole reset. Carla wants to put a stamp on the program, and there's no better way than just to remove all the old stuff and bring in some new. So I get it, and UVA through and through. But I'm definitely cautiously optimistic here. I don't think I heard anything in that press conference to be like, "Wow, this is an incredible plan." It was like nothing that raised my eyebrow in terms of like, "Oh my gosh, here we go. This is going to be incredible." We'll see. Like, I hope he can execute. He's definitely a UVA guy, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was quite the weekend. So we had first, I guess, Day and Blake entered the portal.
Yep.
And then VCU lost. I don't remember the order there. And then I know the rumor mill was out about Ryan Odom. So then we get Ryan. And then one thing we thought if we kept Sanchez, that was going to mean we would be able to get Chance Mallory. But then we ended up getting Chance Mallory anyway. So, any thoughts on from the press conference to what thoughts on Odom as the head coach? I know it is a lot of unknown right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think the thing I got out of the press conference was, he's from Virginia. Like he talked about showing those pictures. I didn't hear the concrete plan in terms of like, here's how we're going to do it. I didn't hear any of that. I don't know if you guys got anything out of that. So I didn't get a lot, to be truthful. And I think it's going to be a wait and see. Like nowadays, you're just buying rosters and you're all right. Like there's not a whole lot of building of infrastructure. And maybe that's, something he's ready to do. Like if you're going to ask somebody that's truthful about it, what's your plan? It's like, I'm going to pay these guys. I'm going to put together a team. And but, let's fingers crossed he can get it done, right? Like you need resources and you need really, really good scouting and like building a sort of program that is attractive to kids on top of money, right? Because if all money is equal, then you've got to have a selling point, right? If you're like, hey, I'm going to offer the same thing as Michigan, then you've got to provide something else.
Right. It's weird, when you think about like watching the Maryland game where, Queen hits that shot and then they ask him in the presser, why do you trust your coach so much? And the first thing he says, and I know it was kind of a joke, but he said, well, he did pay us the money.
Yeah.
It's like, it's sad that everything is now just built on money. Like, I mean, it's if you have the money, you can compete. And if you don't have the money, I don't think you're going to compete.
Yeah. I mean, this is just the state of where we are. Like you guys know, I'm all for, helping guys get paid, and they should get paid. And this is a free market. I think just the adding of transfer portal makes it really difficult. And this whole, we're still EDU programs here. Like people are under the guise of education, but it's a real business. Like it's a weird thing. Like you're trying to run a business under the nonprofit of education, and you're running a program. Like it's just got this weird dynamics. But we've got to like turn the lead. The days of the stuff we remember are over. Like this is like rebuild. It's the name on the front. Don't get used to the name on the back. That's going to keep changing. It's almost like an intramural team. Like you're just going to buy and hire and hope you can catch lightning in a bottle. Like that's kind of what it is, right? And if you've got a lot of money, you're still rolling the dice. It's really up to you to recruit properly and have a system and that the guys like it and want to come in and can succeed. It's tricky. It's a really tricky time.
Yeah, in the 90s, we watched basketball and I know all these players. You get to know guys and now like they talk about transfer portal, and first of all, every time you see it on Twitter, every time a player says they're entering the transfer portal, all the Virginia people put the eyeballs or whatever, but I don't even know who half of these guys are who are entering the portal because I just can't keep up with it. They're going school to school to school. And it does take away some of the fun and some of the rivalries and that kind of stuff, that we enjoyed in the 90s for sure.
Yeah, this is just what we've got to adjust to. But truthfully, the ACC hasn't been the same. Like we've got so many teams now. All of it is different. You might as well throw the old stuff out and just embrace and just enjoy whatever ride we're on now because it's evolving right as we speak. So let's just jump on here to see if we can win and hope we can put it together. And if not, hopefully we tried our best.
Right.
And that's all we can do, right? Like I'm sort of throwing my hands up with it. I'm down to help, whatever way I can, but it's tough. It's a really tough environment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think all the
Yeah,
records are safe, and the like the team records, they're all safe because nobody's staying 4 years that's
Nobody.
good enough to break any of them.
Yeah, shout out Tane Murray will be the last one.
Yeah.
Shout out Tane, that's my guy. He'll be the last one to go down 4 years at UVA probably, unless we get IMAC back. But like even the guys now, I know people are tuning in like who's going to stay, who's going to go. Like I imagine most guys would put their name in the portal. Like why would you not put your name in the portal? Because you were loyal at UVA. TB left. You probably feel slightly burned from that, right? So you're going to throw your name in there and see what happens. Like
there it is, Kie. That's a lifer right there.
Yeah, Kie, legend. I just saw Kie recently. He came here with G League, and they played the Braxton Kie and the Warriors, which was really cool. So got to see both of them. They're doing great. Kie had like a hand surgery, but he's back at full strength and ready to go. It's pretty cool.
He had a little brother. Is his little brother a player like he was?
Yeah, he's got two brothers. They're both on the AU circuit, and his dad Malik is coaching them. So they're both they're both like Kihei, tough as nails. And I saw them play in Vegas in the AU. I want to say it was last year, and they're tough, man. They're tough little guys. It's going to be awesome to watch them see what they do.
I tell you, I'm sure you're as excited as Jay and I that Kie and Cal are putting that team in the basketball tournament.
Yeah, well, we tried 2 years ago to do it with Johnny Carpenter and myself, and we tried. We got a bunch of commits and we couldn't get it done. So I'm glad it got done this year. It's pretty cool. I can't wait to support them in that. It'll be fun to watch and see how JPJ reacts to some of the older guys coming back and playing.
Are you going to make the trip back to Charlottesville for that?
You know it. I got to.
Any excuse to go back do you know any other players that may be playing other than? I know I've seen Kyle reaching out to different guys. I just seen messages on X.
I don't know. I think it all depends on everyone's schedule and health. Mm-hmm. I know when we reached out last time, Devin had some interest in it. London had some interest in doing it. Now that Justin's overseas, he probably has some interest in it. He couldn't at the last time he did it because he was still in the NBA, and you can't be on the NBA roster and be in this. So yeah, I think you'll see some of those names pop up. Akil, I think Akil's played in the big in the whatever TBT tournament before, so he could bring some experience. So we'll see. It's all about like everyone's health and schedule and all that, because that in the Euro League schedule is 10 months. It's a lot. Like a lot of these guys don't want to play more when they get home. So it'll be fun. Like, I'm sure it's one of those things where like signing up for it probably feels daunting, and then when you get into it and you see all your friends, like it's going to be great. But I imagine that's going to be a hurdle, right? Like you're like, oh man, I'm tired. I really want to travel and do that again in my free time. We'll see. It is like being in Charlottesville and seeing everybody. Hopefully is a bonus,
because that's a winner take all, right?
It is, yeah. I think it's like 2 million now.
Woo, lots of pressure.
Yeah. I mean, I think you get sponsors and you get some of that going, and hopefully that can get you at least a consolation prize,
right?
So you get some sort of funding. But yeah, that's sort of the route those go.
So I was looking at that press conference the other day. That had to be. I wish I could have went, just because the who's who of UVA royalty, man. Yeah. I seen the picture of Jeff Jones and his wife, and Coach Odom and his wife, and Ralph Sampson. I mean, you name them, they were there. And then to see Coach Odom's dad there, Dave Odom, as well. I thought that was pretty cool.
Really cool. Like it's kind of a throwback. I went back and watched Ryan Odom's press conference when he was introduced at UMBC, and he also mentioned it was pretty similar in terms of like he mentioned Larinaga and his dad and Terry Holland and Jeff Jones. He mentioned all those in that one too, which I thought was great. It wasn't just because he was at UVA. Like
Right.
he really looks up to them. So like it's gonna be cool like to see how he ties all of that together. But the time he was here was, I think it was a really interesting time, right? That was Holland and to Jeff Jones,
Mhm.
and his dad left for Wake Forest, so he's probably seen a lot. I'm sure at that age it's hard to probably absorb any of it in terms of his coaching style, but it was probably pretty interesting. You got Ralph and Tim Duncan. That
Oh
combo
yeah.
is wild.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
assuming you didn't know Ryan Odom, the ball boy.
I did not know. I'm sadly the same age as him. I'm like a year younger than him, so. But no, I did not know him. Didn't go to school with him or anything.
Gotcha.
Pretty cool
Yeah.
though. I mean, that was the coolest part. I think that it sounded like that's what sold Carla on it. If I'm being honest, it sounded like, hey, I'm been through Virginia through and through since I was, a little kid. So he understood the values and what it means to be at Virginia, and that probably goes a long ways. Like I don't know what else were sort of the sales job that either side had to do,
Mhm.
but I'm sure that was a big part of it.
I saw
That's
he just sat down and laid that picture down on her desk of him with the basketball, and that picture has been all over social media.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. It
that's the
has.
reason number one why I should be getting this job.
Which is wild. I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy to have that and to
Yeah.
also be in the running for that job is pretty neat. I mean, I'm truthfully not thrilled about the UMBC tie. I don't want to hear that over and over. I'm sure all the
Right.
fans are like that.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't need to hear that over and over again. But like we redeemed it. I get it. But it's like
Mhm.
now you've got another tie for God knows how long we're going to
Yeah.
hear about this. But whatever. It's, at this point, you might as well put in the rafters. The first
Right,
Yeah,
Doug.
it's
first
definitely
one
tied
season
to
go,
it.
put a banner up it. Hell with it.
Yeah.
Right.
We got the coach already.
Yeah. Now they went all out for that one. Had the band there, the cheerleaders. It was quite the event. So
And
I
Chance
missed that.
Mallory's too. I watched that one at St. Anne's with
Uh-huh.
Damon and Marcus, and that's cool, man. That's so cool. A home like I was thinking about that. Joe Mallory, his dad went to high school with me. So to
Oh
think
wow.
like somebody with Charlottesville roots being, you could argue maybe the best prospect ever out of Charlottesville, right? We had Tariq Turner, went to St. John's, and then Javin Delorier went to Duke, but like you, Chance Mallory's right up there, right? There's not
Right.
many like Austin. Obviously, Austin Williford is going to be a big one too. He's going to St. Joe's, but like the Mount Rushmore of Charlottesville Hoopers, Chance has got he's got a chance here to literally to put his name up
Right.
there at
For
Mount
sure.
Rushmore to be
Right.
Charlottesville, go to UVA, be the starting point guard from day one. That's
That's awesome.
amazing. That is incredible. Like that's something that for all of us to kind of keep our eye on, especially with women, possibly with kind of more also doing that. It's pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Really cool. That
Yeah, I think I
combination.
might have been wrong when I said the thing about the records being safe because I forgot Chance. He's a kid that you could see staying all 4 years. And if he did leave early, I don't know that it would be for another college, more like an NBA, hopefully, type of
Right.
career.
Right. I mean, you talk about if all things are equal, why Virginia? For him, it's clear, right?
Yeah.
If he puts his name in the portal and the dollars are the same, he's probably like, all right, I'm coming back home. I get to stay home and get to save money. Like, well, sure, let's do it. But then you
Right.
go to somebody like, Jacob Coffey. He's from Seattle. Like that's a long ways from home.
Yeah.
To put his name in the portal and like all things being equal, he's got a chance to go home or be, on the West Coast. Like it's going to be a hard decision for him. So we'll see.
Yeah. And the draw of just, hey, man, I want to play in the ACC. It's like, well, that's not it anymore. I want to go play in the SEC if I want to play, against the best every night, not the ACC, unfortunately.
Yeah, then that's very true. Yeah, Ryan Crotty too. I mean, the Malik Brown also, like where he went to Duke. Yeah, the Charlottesville basketball scene. I would like to say in the last 15 years is really because of what UVA has done. I feel like basketball is probably more kids are looking at basketball as the thing they love. I don't know. it's kind of interesting to think about, like, because Charlottesville is a much better basketball scene than when I was a kid. Like, there was nothing. It was a joke. Like, going to Albemarle versus CHS was terrible. Now it's like Albemarle was in the state championship, and Stab was really good, and Miller's good. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, it's a great time to be a basketball fan in Charlottesville.
For sure.
You
I'm
mentioned
not familiar with Ryan Crotty, Jeff. Is that a John Crotty?
That's his son, isn't it? Isn't that John Crotty's son?
I would assume, yeah. I mean, what are the chances, right?
It's gotta be.
Jeff might have a new favorite player.
Ryan Crotty.
Crotty's his guy.
John is in Miami. He lives in Miami, so in Florida.
But I think I had seen something. Maybe he had a son in that area in Charlottesville.
That's so cool.
Know.
Yeah, we'll hunt him down. I'm sure Fresh will be able to dig that up for us.
Yeah, for sure.
Another person to root for us.
That's right.
They're kind of all over the place.
I know you mentioned Austin Williford. What about Jay Will? I guess he's not going to be back. What are his thoughts? Do you know his thoughts, or what his next move possibly could be, or is it possible he could come back?
I mean, he's unemployed as far as I know. That's as far as I know. Like, I don't know who he's talking to, what he's in. We'll reach out to him. We sent him a gift as a Locker Room Access family. Actually, shout out to Guard. He helped us put together it's an incredible portrait of him.
I saw that.
He cut down the nets. Pretty cool.
That's cool.
Dougie Fresh set that up too. But yeah, whatever he is, we're gonna love him and support him wherever he ends up. I don't know if anyone's reached out to him. I don't think so, from what I've heard. But things change. This is a crazy, fast-paced, moving thing. So let's hope, fingers crossed, he can stay. But I don't know. Would he want to? I think he feel like a head coaching job would be really cool for Jay Willie. To take the next step in his career. I know he was close to that at one point. With GW and George Mason and some others, but I don't know where his head is at with that. With having two kids that are superior athletes, maybe he wants to, watch them and be a dad for a little while. He's so committed to coaching for a while. I can imagine. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, we hate to see him go. I know that Coach Odom was talking about bringing back some of the coaching staff, and I know maybe Kyle Guy, Chase Coleman, and was it Isaiah Wilkins was running the guys through a workout the other day, I guess, or
there. I mean, GA. I think Kyle and Chase are still in school too, so they're still there. They didn't have to pack their bags, so they're there. We'll see. I'd love for them to, keep a few of the guys that we know on staff. That'd be really nice. But I get like at this point, he's the boss. Like, we gotta, I'm one of those people that's like, hey, he knows more than any of us ever will.
Right.
He knows the inside and outs and all the conversations. So we just gotta trust that he's gonna make the right calls and roll with that. Like, that's all we can do.
That's right. Sure. Yeah.
But it's tough though, right? It's tough to wonder what's like. This is a weird time, right? We don't know the full staff. We got all these guys in the portal, and we've got March Madness is still happening. And we're like, well, as a fan, this is like a strange time to sort of watch everything unfold, because you're really helpless in terms of what's happening.
Yeah, and so many guys, like Jeff said earlier. I mean, it's so many guys, and you can't blame them for hopping in the portal. But it's like, I wish we could at least get past the championship game before we open the portal,
Yeah.
I mean, you got guys that are still playing that have to make a choice potentially of, well, am I going to, put my name out there? I mean,
yeah, that is pretty wild. It is wild. I mean, when I look at the UVA guys, I would assume all of them would put their name in. Like, why not go and see what's happening, right? Like, they've probably got their fair share of the business side of basketball, with Coach Bennett leaving and then being sort of locked in at that point, and they have to making a tough call right before the season. I'm sure they're like, hey, give me a moment. Let me enter my name in the portal and reassess all of it. And I think they deserve that. Sure. I will for sure support everyone. I'm fans of all of them for life. So it's one of those things that we just got to wait and see, right? It's going to be interesting to see how they all play out. Like, some of them probably going to see a nice payday, I'd hope. Like IMAC and Rhodey, as much as he improved, how many teams could use Rhodey? Like he's, really blossomed into a great player. So that's going to be cool.
Do you think the NCAA can fix some of the damage it's done?
You guys want to take that one?
I don't think it's going to be an easy fix. I mean, it's free market, maybe putting some timelines on things. I mean, that's about all you can do to fix it. The revenue sharing piece that Virginia's, what is it going to be, $20.5 million per year to NIL. I mean, beyond that, I mean, I don't know. I'd love to see a level playing field, but I don't know that you're ever going to see that again.
Yeah. I mean, my solution is reinstate the sit out 1 year if you transfer. You reinstate that with NIL, now you've got everyone has a real question then, right? If you're going to say, I'm going to pay this kid to come here and you're going to have to wait a year, are you going to do it? Are you still going to do it? You got to pay him to sit. Are you down to do that? I think that would be another element of this to sort of tamper the expectations down, like saying you got to sit now. This is an NCAA rule. We're reinstating it. So if you're going to pay a guy, you got to pay him to sit. You're going to pay him $2 million to come to your school. Well, $1 million. He's just going to sit there. So I'd like to see something like that because I really think it's not about paying the players. It's the transfer portal that's the issue. Let's keep it. Let's separate the two things. Like right now, it is because it's a free agency every year, and you can play players. That makes this really, really muddy. And if it was, remove the transfer portal piece or make that a lot harder, then I think the NIL money will make way more sense. But like the way it is now, when it's just, hey, go wherever you want, do whatever you want. I get it. Coaches get to do that. This is just how we're going to have to deal with it until somebody comes up and says, no more, like here's a salary cap or here's this, but then people are just going to cheat that as well. So we'll see. This is tough. This is a really, Pandora's box when it comes to like this weird amateur athletics plus NIL.
I saw somebody.
I was going to say, I miss the days when you just paid the guys under the table.
Yeah, when
I've never asked Dougie Fresh that.
Could just have a party and you guys have a whole bunch of fun, and that was the end of it. Those days are over.
I had saw somewhere somebody had suggested this about maybe you get one transfer. This is on the opposite side, the player side. You can transfer one time, and then after that, if you get an NIL deal, you want to transfer again, you got to pay your NIL back or something, to try to discourage. Because, guys are transferring 4 times, 4 years, 4 different schools or whatever, just something to discourage so much transferring. Now, if a coach were to leave, then you can transfer. There's so many different things.
Yeah.
Who knows what the right answer is?
Yeah, it's a lot. This is, like I said, I think this is just a weird state we're in right now, right? Things are very fluid, and we're just gonna have to like roll with it. Like everyone is figuring out, every school, every conference, every NCAA institution is trying to figure this out. So, and there's nothing like a quick fix that will solve everything. Right. It's always going to be these nuanced edge cases that we got to be concerned with. So that's why it's like, hey, just sit back and cheer for your guy and hope for the best. That's all we can do.
I just hope that IMAC, if he leaves, please don't go to North Carolina.
Or Louisville.
Or Duke.
Or Duke, yeah.
I like that guy a lot. I want him to succeed wherever he goes.
Yeah,
or Virginia Tech. That goes without saying, I guess.
It is wild to think about that. Like you're like you said, those rivalry things just he comes and does the 3 years at UVA, and then he's like, all right, I'm gonna go into the transfer portal, go to Virginia Tech, right? Same conference. Like back in the day, you couldn't even if you were to transfer within conference, you had to wait 2 years. Remember that?
Yeah.
So you never saw it. And now just, hey, it's a free for all. Do whatever you want. It's wild. It's a wild time. Like that's for sure.
It sure
Do you
is.
know the answer to this? Could you make an NIL deal that is 2 years? Or is all this stuff 1-year deals all the time?
Well, so I mean, by definition, you're paying for the name, image, and likeness of that player. So it's not tied to the school you're at. You're making these are good faith deals. For example, if I work at a company and I love my school, I'm gonna do a deal with a player that has nothing to do with the school. I'm doing it
Right.
for his image because he's a player, not because he goes to that school. Like they're truly separated in terms of contract. So if you do a 2-year deal with him, it goes with him. If he goes to Virginia Tech, your deal now goes to Virginia Tech. Like it's not. This has nothing to do with the school. But if you're talking about the UVA scenario where the schools are going to pay, yes, that makes sense. But if you're looking at NIL deals that are coming outside of the school, like they just stay with the player, right? There's
Gotcha.
no division there with the school. It's just like, hey, you're paying for Isaac McNeely's name. You're not paying for Virginia's name.
Right. Yeah, I think about like Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet store. He's
Yep.
got these guys, and obviously he's a UVA guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how those deals are structured or how long they are or anything like that, but I just
You can
wonder.
get really creative, with these deals. So, it's kind of up to some of them have agents, some of them do them on their own, some go through like low through cash features and they put together, but you can get really creative with it. You could do affiliate deals, you could do pay for performance in terms of like what you bring in to the company. You can get a piece of that. You're like almost a salesman or ambassador. So who knows? Everyone could have a unique deal, or you could just pay for to use their name in an ad, and you can pay them in exorbitant amounts of money. Like it's kind of up in the air.
It's crazy.
Philip Sims says when Ronald Curry came to Seville, he got booed so hard, but now everyone going to be so used to it, and you'll never get stuff like that again. I will say this: Jay and I were two of the people that booed him really hard at the football game.
I mean, Ronald Curry, that name. I mean, well, we got Hagens instead, but wasn't it like Mike Vick, Ronald Curry? Like that was quite an era of quarterbacks.
Oh yeah,
just
nuts.
Yeah, they're from our area over here in the 757.
Yes.
And we were so sure we were getting Curry.
Well, Curry committed.
Verbally committed.
Yeah.
And boy, the Boo Birds were out that night. There's no question about that.
Yeah. Every time. Did he ever win it? He never won in Charlottesville, right? Basketball or football?
I know he didn't win in football. I don't know about basketball, but
I don't think he ever won in Charlottesville, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
Because I remember the boos. Yeah, everyone. He was the most hated in Charlottesville for a long time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Jay, was he the quarterback?
J.R. Reed was one too, right before that. Like he was also like down to UVA, and then the last second he picked UNC.
Where did J.R. Reed go to high school? He was what school did he go to?
He was
757, wasn't he?
Yeah, 757 as well.
I don't remember.
I feel like yeah.
I mean, but I remember. I mean, we're taking the way back machine here, like the era of players that could have been UVA is, incredible.
Michael Jordan,
the who's who of basketball was, in Virginia at the time. And Joe Smith, I remember, was really close. And then
he was a Maury guy.
Maury guy. And with him came Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson and him were going to come to Virginia. And I remember Iverson was at the Dell back in the day playing, after camp playing basketball, and was like, if I could play both like Terry Kirby, I'll come to Virginia. I was just like, oh my God, if we get Allen Iverson. Anyway,
was that before the bowling alley or after?
It was before.
Okay. I was gonna say, I can't imagine UVA would have taken him with that baggage, but I don't know.
Yeah. There was no chance back then. After the bowling alley incident, he would have not come to UVA regardless.
Yeah.
But we had,
could have had Steph Curry, JJ Redick. I mean, sheesh.
Yeah, JJ Redick. I mean, he's been on the podcast saying he wanted to come to UVA and be with Elton Brown and Jason Clark, and those were his guys. And he ultimately couldn't. He was a Duke fan, so those are tough pills to swallow.
It's tough.
when I was a kid, I had a shirt that said it was from Mincer's. I don't know if they still make it. It said my two favorite teams are UVA and whoever's playing UNC. You
Oh
remember
yeah,
that shirt?
yeah, oh yeah.
I love that shirt. I used to wear that constantly. People were so confused when I had it out here in California. People were like, what does that mean? They're like, what? Anyway,
My favorite
Shout out
shirt
to
that
Mincer's.
I was gonna say, Jeff, I got one more. My Mincer shirt, and I know you had this one too.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Oh,
The
yes.
good was Virginia, the bad was UNC. I think the ugly was Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, yeah.
Yeah, UNC was our villain back in the day,
Yeah.
more so than Duke, right? Because Duke, got better later, but the four corners they ran with Dean Smith and beating Ralph and the gang, like we never got over that. At least as a kid, I definitely got spanked that night. So yeah, I haven't forgiven them for that. Like UNC, no.
That sounds like Jay and his son. And when Virginia loses Jay's son Jayton, it's a rough night for him too. So y'all got that in common.
Yeah, I think about it like with my kids. I mean, obviously we're in California, we watch every game together. So I try to go the opposite. It's like when they win, it rewards, right? So then you're cheering for rewards versus like the losing spanked. Obviously, it has done traumatic things in my life. Look at my background. So yeah, I tried to do the reverse. Like, hey, they win. It's gonna be a good night. We're gonna have ice cream. We're gonna do, being on the West Coast is helpful too. The time's a little earlier, so stay up late tonight. UVA won.
Jay, you remember the shirt we got outside after the North Carolina football game? We bought one on the side of the street. When I got it in the car, it was like $5. When I looked at it in the car, there was all kinds of things misspelled on that shirt.
Misspellings, and you probably remember this going to the games. After we get a big win, you'd be leaving Scott, and there'd be guys with just big boxes of T-shirts. Yep. I got $5. It was like that was a great time to be a fan. I really hope Coach Elliott can get back to packing the stadium and getting some big wins. And I mean, and it's not like we were national championship contenders really, but just being a top 25 team routinely. Yeah. I mean, golly dang, that was
in the mix. I mean, I'm not of the mind that we need to win every single year, which is kind of why I was disappointed this year. I'm like, hey, you can have a down year. It's why are we like changing regime? I get it. You want to win, but it's like the expectation of winning every year is that's a lot, man. That's really tough, to say you got to win every year. Otherwise you're out. Like, I would not.
What if Odom goes 15-17 in year one?
Yeah.
They're not, you can't replace them every year. So there's definitely got to be a little bit of tolerance for.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing with all of it. It's like give the guys a chance to run it through and see what they can do. And I'm not here to tell you that they would have won and they would have went to the final, whatever. But like at least see it through so we get the answer of, hey, could it have continued? Because my thought with it is the upside was incredible, right? If let's just say Sanchi started winning and he started doing it right, doing it the Bennett way and continuing, then you've got this incredible line of coaches coming down the pipe. And the story continues. That's the ceiling, right? Which is like you win and you like grow and Bennett, whatever you say about it, the pack line, if that's, they evolve and adjust and keep growing, then you've got this thing that's truly yours with UVA. But then when you go and shift to a whole new regime and a whole new style, it just reminds me of Pete Gillen and Swift, like, hey, we need to go fast, Pete Gillen. And then Pete Gillen, it falls apart. We need somebody with more discipline. Leto, that falls apart. And now, like, I'm scared to death that we're going to fall into that trap of, like, Bennett was too this. Now let's go the opposite way. And that doesn't work. All right, let's go this way. And then next thing you know, we got 6 coaches in 10 years. And hopefully it doesn't go that way. Yeah. Because, I mean, like, truthfully, from 96 to 2012, no NCAA wins, like 2 berths, like bottom of the ACC, generally speaking, like that's a lot of years of really bad basketball. And to say that we have to win at all times is wild, right? Like, I get it. Somebody who's 30 years old has only seen us win. like they expect it, but like in reality, it's freaking hard build a winner consistently like that, because really you can't point to somebody and say do it like him. Like there's no Izzo. Like I don't know who you're pointing to, right? Like so this we're rolling some dice right here, but at least it's with the UVA guy, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say at least it is a UVA guy. So we cross our fingers and we hope that good things are coming.
Yeah, what do you guys think? What is your feeling like? What is your I don't know. I don't even know what you want to say. Your level of excitement, or at like now versus, let's just say
Jeff,
beginning
you
of
go
the
ahead.
20 minute era.
Well, for me, I mean, I'm excited. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, the Ryan Odom Kool-Aid. I mean, I'm like you. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm excited. Of course, last year was tough. I love Coach Sanchez. I really do, and I really hope he gets another chance somewhere else and succeeds. He just had a tough deal.
Yeah.
When you get the job 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the season starts, and to keep that thing together, I think he did an amazing job with that.
Absolutely.
But the last few years, it's been, you get spoiled with all those number one seeds and then winning a national title. And then, the last few years, the wheels were falling off a little bit. And so we're resetting.
Yep.
And I'm going to be, as you say, cautiously optimistic, but I am excited. I hope that a few of these guys who've entered the portal do decide to return. But it's a wait and see. I don't know. The transfer portal, it's just changed all of college basketball. I don't know if these guys in the portal may want to come back, and Coach Odom, maybe he doesn't want them back, or I don't know what the thoughts are, So
Yeah.
I definitely agree with, if I was a player, I'd probably, take away my Virginia fandom.
Yeah,
But if I was just an athlete, I'm entering the portal too, because I'm at least going to weigh my options. So
No, you're not, Jeff. You die hard UVA guy. You ain't going nowhere.
I said take away that. I said take away my fandom.
What about you, Jay? Where are you at in terms of excitement level for?
I'm excited. My one concern is one that has diminished because of the times we're in a little bit, and that is that he's been at 3 stops for 2 years each. So he's built a winner quickly, but it has not been sustained success at one spot. And we don't want a coach for 2 years. We want a coach for 2 decades. And if he can do that, now it's hard to build. So every year is a total reset of roster.
Right.
So, it really comes down to, I mean, the X's and O's, I think he's fine. He's probably, I don't even know how much the X's and O's, they definitely matter, but they don't matter as much as they do in football, in my opinion. It's a lot more about the Jimmies and the Joes. And, based on who you bring in, he's adjusted his system. He's been better on offense some years. He's been better on defense. He's had years like this year where he was top 30, I think, efficiency in both. So I think he can, coach them up. But really, it just comes down to, sustained excellence. I think he'll get there. He's shown he can win, but it's a matter of, can he build it and keep it going? That's the question.
Yeah, I think my longer term concern is, NIL is an issue. Like there are deep pockets at UVA, right? We got Paul Tudor Jones. We've got a lot of people with a lot of bread, right? Like to go into this, but like if they go all in on, let's just say, they put together a bunch of money for a roster and they fall short, like you're gonna run out of people that are gonna continue to do this for UVA. We're not Kentucky. We're not. We don't have Calipari and the Tyson guy. We don't have that level of like ownership on that NIL side. So that's my biggest concern. It's like, if we're gonna go this year, and it's like Carla said, get $10 million and go get a top 10 roster, and Odom's gonna go, like you said, what happens when we go 50? Because imagine paying paying, let's just say you pay for $1 million for a player and that player doesn't play well.
Is that TJ Power? I mean, what
I'm saying, let's say it happens. Let's just say you put in $1 million, you bought into the hype. I'm going to give you $1 million, coach. I believe in you. You go get a guy, 5-star, 4-star, whatever. This is your guy. He does not play well, does not get a ton of minutes. Like, how do you go back to that well and ask for another? I don't know. Like, I just like long term. How do you continually do this? I have no idea.
I think that's a lot of the reason Coach Elliott is under so much pressure this year because of the money that has filtered into the football program.
Right.
That roster's been built. If you don't win, I mean, sorry, we're going in another direction.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Coach Bennett and that since NIL had really took a hold of the programs, before we had the best transfers ever within, Sam Hauser was the number one transfer. Trey Murphy was the number, and then NIL comes and now you've got a bid and like we have a style that isn't sexy. And if you're going to lowball and have that's a bad combination. Like, let's just keep it real. Like, I know we love UVA, but the average kid that's 18 could care less when you're throwing money out there. So like, if all things are equal, it's like play slow, play defense. You're probably not going to take you, even if it's all things equal. You need to like up your money and make up for that to be like, no, this is how much we want you. We're going to pay you more to come here and be a part of this and buy in. And we just couldn't get that done. Like, truthfully, we just couldn't. Like, we did. I don't know if we didn't think it was worth it or we thought UVA was quote unquote better and the championship held weight. It just didn't happen. And lots of players, I've heard, came in and loved it. And the money didn't make sense. So they went elsewhere, so, hey, can we compete at this level consistently? I have no idea. You're talking, if this is going to sustain for 5, 10, 20 years like this, like I'm, that's scary to me. I'm probably pessimistic in terms of how well we can do long term if this is the way it's going to be. But I'm assuming it's not. Things are going to change because everyone's going to run out of money at some point and get sick of college athletics, right? Because I know I've heard and know of a lot of people who got burned this way in other programs in Texas and others who donated 6 figures for a player, thought they were making a big impact, and that player doesn't play, and they are just done with that, with college sports.
Right.
And I get it. Like, imagine, you're a Texas guy like us, or you grew up in love Texas, you got all this money, and you're usually like, I'm buying a quarterback for our team. I love this team, and he doesn't, and you give him a huge check and he doesn't play, you're probably not feeling great.
No. Right, for sure.
So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm hopeful we can turn it around and get these guys. Well, we'll see. Odom's going to figure it out. Like, I don't. Yeah, in terms of the transfer portal, my take is I don't really care at this point. Like, truthfully, we don't know what we don't know, and there's no point in trying to read tea leaves for me. I always think it works out. Like, the guys that want to stay, end up staying, and we get it sorted out. And the guys that don't leave, and the guys that come want to be here, ultimately it generally works itself out. So I don't go crazy, but I will say, Kevin at who's got next goes deep into you don't have to read a ton of tea leaves if you read his stuff to get an idea. We knew about Odom and the planes flying and all this stuff way beforehand. So it's really cool so maybe that's why I'm not as concerned. And if you're a casual fan, it probably is pretty scary to see all these names in, but follow who's got next. He's the guy with the, real leads and real understanding of what's going on.
I told Jeff before you came and joined us, I said, this is the first time I'm not wearing a UVA shirt on the podcast, and I'm wearing just a black shirt because I'm in mourning today.
Yeah,
but as a Bennett quote, joy comes in the morning.
I'm with you. I got my black out at Charlottesville, Virginia. Yeah. I'm not wearing anything UVA either today, but no,
I think that we'll whoever they have, whoever is picked, and whoever picks us,
right?
It's going to be people are going to be excited. We're going to see stats. We're going to see highlight videos. We're not going to see the 2 for 14 performances that they had maybe on a Tuesday night, when they had an exam or something. We're just going to see the good stuff, and we're going to be excited for them. And
we got Chance Mallory. He's born and raised Charlottesville. How can you
There
not
you
be
go.
excited? We
That's
got
right.
him. He wants to be here. He's going to be our lead guard. Like that's an exciting piece of the puzzle. And whoever else stays, they want to be here, right? Like
Right.
they've made choices, which I think is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I'm like, let's just wait and see what happens. Like, who knows what tomorrow brings? There's no point in worrying about it. All I can do is cheer for our Who's, man. That's what we do.
Yep.
That's right. Well, TW, how can folks find you online and the locker room access?
Yeah, just go to Locker Room Access. So we have forums on there. If you click on the forum, like I said, Who's Got Next is our lead on the forum, and that's our guy. I'm Who's TW on the Twitter sphere. I guess it's X now, but we also have a Facebook group called UVA Hoops. We got that a few years ago and run that page. I think shout out Jen Clifton. She runs that page. It's incredible. It's got like 25,000 UVA fans posting in that. Anytime you guys just share your pods in there as well. I mean, it's a great group. Like we have a huge community all over of loyal UVA fans, and it's been awesome, man. This has been a fun sort of venture with building out a locker room access and getting into every part of the UVA community in terms of basketball. It's been really fun.
Yeah,
we're gonna get a sit down with Coach Bennett from you guys.
Well, we could, yeah, maybe we can work on that. Like we'll figure it out. I think when the time is right. He doesn't love doing interviews, truthfully. He's more to himself, but we can figure something out. I think at some point he'll come out of his shell and hopefully jump on. I know it's hard for him. He doesn't want to spend a lot of time doing that stuff, so it's hard for us to ask because we know he doesn't like it. So it's just like, and he would do it like anytime. Last time we asked him, he came. At the banner raising ceremony,
Right.
he came and did that, and he's been so kind to me personally. Like I'm never gonna ask him for something that he probably doesn't want to do.
Right.
It's kind of pointless. Truthfully, it's kind of pointless. But yeah, hopefully we'll do another event. Maybe TBT. He'll come out. It'll be fun. I think it'll be a lot of good times ahead for us UVA fans. But it is sad to see our old regime sort of turn the page, man. There was a hell of a time. 15 years, man. We had a great run. A lot of great basketball, and that championship run was a life-altering experience for me. I don't know about you guys, but
for sure.
I still get chills when the story comes on ACC Network. I looked down and I was watching it the other day, and
yes.
I'll never watch it probably and not get chills.
Yeah, I think about that sadly, I probably think about it way more than I should. But like that is as a kid growing up, it just like the Final Four was the dream. I'm not even sure I really thought about winning a championship. Like I would just wanted to see the Final Four get in the Final Four once in my life for get there and let's see what it's about. And to win it like that, it was just hey, it was a storybook ending kind of thing, like in terms of like bucket list things to see in your life. Like I never thought I'd see it, and I saw it, and maybe that's why I'm so grateful for what TV and Ollie brought, because that was absolutely a life altering experience to be a fan for life and to see them run it all the way through was pretty awesome.
For sure,
right there with you.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to wrap us up tonight, and I know we'll be back on the air again this week at some point, and just go check out the Locker Room Access. Their stuff is great, and y'all have some great interviews on there. So
yeah, you guys are doing it. I should bring back all the old ones. I think they got deleted. Apple deleted all of our old ones. We had during COVID. I think we did one a day for I don't even know how long. I think we had 300,000 subscribers at one point, and they all got deleted. Apple messed up.
Holy
killed it
cow.
all. It's super sad. We got, this was COVID, so all the numbers, everyone was looking for content, but we went down the who's who. I mean, that for me as a fan, that was talk about bucket list. I talked to Brian. I mean, my son is named after Brian Stith. We got him on the
That's
podcast,
awesome.
and my son got to meet him on a Zoom call, and we had John Crotty, we had Corey, we had everybody, like everybody except our white whale was Ralph. We didn't get Ralph because he had his own pod, but I think we kind of checked off almost everybody. Down the list, even we almost got Keith Jennifer, which
Oh,
even him, as if the old Saber fans probably know about him, Keith Jennifer.
Oh yeah.
We've kind of been through that. Maybe I'll bring some of those back, and people can per listen to those as they please. I try to find the old ones, but yeah, you keep doing those pods, man. I love hearing all those old stories, or like Jamal Robinson's another great guest. You guys should get him. He's amazing. Harold Dean's another one you guys need to get. Donald Hand, if you can get him, he's
look, we got feelers out for all those guys. We're trying to get all of them. That's our favorite thing to do, is talk to these guys.
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, it's literally amazing, and to bring back all those memories, it's fun, man.
I think like UTW, Jeff and I growing up, we didn't grow up in Charlottesville, but being UVA lifetime fans, and we've been best friends. Like, I literally don't have a life memory where Jeff's not in it, and probably vice versa. But it's like, I look at some of the phone numbers like that we've got in our phones, and like text with these people, and it's like it's really like just a dream come true, and we're just living the childhood dream. We're
like I said, from for me, like shooting around with Doug and Chris Havlicek, and now those guys are family friends. It's crazy. You pinch yourself kind of stuff, like the heroes when you're a kid. When you're 12 years old back then, there's no Twitter, there's no like digging in and seeing what these people, they were just like these iconic people. With maybe once in a while they get mentioned in an article, but like you see them on the court, and that's all of your exposure. Like it was, I personally liked it more, because then you can, in your mind, like for me, Brian Stith was literally a superhero. Like he valedictorian, like did nothing wrong. Like in my mind, he was the basically my Michael Jordan. Like he just did nothing wrong in my eyes. And I always modeled my like life around like, what would Brian Stith do? I'm going to do that. Like that was literally it when I was a kid. Like study or go goof around. No. Brian Stith was study, so I'm gonna study. Like he was a valedictorian. That's what I like. So
that's awesome.
You pick your heroes wisely, and he was definitely one for me. And I think it's tough today to have those, right? Like because now you're on Twitter and you see them go live and they're talking smack, and you don't know what to think. But anyways, we're getting too deep into the world. I appreciate you guys again. So thank you for having me. Anytime you need some Asian content, let me know. Some diversification, I'm here for you.
Oh man, no, it was a pleasure. Enjoy talking to you, and I hope we'll get on again another time. So thanks so much. Have a great evening. We'll see you later.
Take care.
All right.